Black Finish checking in. Right now I'm at the headquarters and I want to talk to you about how welding has saved my life personally. I want to talk to you about that because I believe that sometimes you see people's story and you'll see a person at a certain level and you'll think that, man, it probably was easy. Man, they probably got there overnight, or someone really um, paved the way for them. You know what I mean? And I wanted to share my story with you because I think it's vital coming into 2022. We have a lot of adolescents and um, people growing into their teens and teens growing into their adulthood who's looking for guidance in situations where people are painting a picture like everything is perfect. Everything isn't going to be perfect, family, regardless of what you go through in life, especially growing up in rural areas, especially coming up in poor environments, especially being raised in areas where you was at a disadvantage from birth. And I want to say welding saved my life because all I knew was the streets, family. All I knew was hustling and robbing. That's it. That's all I knew. I knew how to hustle. I knew how to rob. I knew how to steal, but I didn't have any skills until I went to prison. And going to prison opened up a door for me. I had to do 10 years. I actually did 10 years incarcerated, and during that stretch from 16 to 26 years old, I was able to find myself. I'm not saying that you have to go or anyone else have to go to find themselves. And sometimes finding yourself may be in a bad relationship, or maybe homeless, or maybe at a at an abusive person house or family member house, and you feel captive. But I was in that situation, and it allowed me to find what I wanted to do with my life. And it was introduced to me by my mother. And I'm actually in her house right now. May God bless her soul, rest in love. She actually introduced welding to me for my ads she seen on TV. And then she later got some information from the library, and then she sent it to me, about 8 to 10 pages, to give me more information on welding. And then I took that information and created a hunger. And then I got my GED while I was in prison. And then I went to Votech for combination of welding. And it took about 14 months in combination of welding at Votech, and I was at Burner Unit. And then after then, I got some experience from helping fabricate and build things inside the shop. Then later I went to maintenance while I was doing some welding, doing construction. And so I was able to utilize my welding trade in prison. And I actually ran across some good guys while I was in prison. And it was shocked that they seen me actually doing all the welding, and the guy, someone else was pulling the welder, or I was pulling it, and I get in and I start welding and fabricating. It blew their mind. They said, man, the black guy ever seen that can do this? And we was in prison. And I remember being proud of the fact that I learned something that I could pass down. And I was like, hey man, this ain't nothing, man. You should jump into it. And a lot of people was intimidated about jumping into the welding field while I was in prison because they said that the instructor was racist. And actually he wasn't racist. He was just born in one of those towns in Arkansas where he went to school with no one that was African American or any other race. It was just all white school. So, he just grew up a little different, but the guy actually was pretty cool. So I have to give him a shout out because he really opened up the door as far as helping me learn more than just the basic information that a school would give you. The school was giving us 4 positions, in TIG, MIG, and stick welding, and he actually taught me pipe welding and fabrication. So that was something that he didn't have to do, but he seen the hunger, and I actually finished the course ahead of time. So if the course was 14 months, I think I was done with the basic course in probably maybe 7 to 8 months, and then the rest of the time I was helping other students And then I was fabricating different things in the shop and fixing things that came into the shop. So welding opened up a door for me coming out of prison. Good rising, good rising. Welding opened up a door coming straight out of prison because I had a career instead of a basic job. Even though the job that I got, it started me at $8 an hour. I can't lie. At that time, and this was when I got released. This was 2006, and I started out in 2006 in the town I was in, actually in Newport, Arkansas. I started out at $8 an hour. And family, I can't lie to you. I put my work ethics down. I was excited to be out. I was happy to make any money. I was working for free in there, you know what I mean? So I was like, sure, I'll be all right. I get a raise. I come up, and literally in 2 weeks, family, I was called into the office, and the guy said, man, he was talking to one of the supervisors on the floor, and the supervisor said, man, we need to pay this dude some more. We gonna mess around and move around and get another job. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, he's good. We want to keep him around. I really like his attitude. They called me in and said, man, we're going to give you a raise. I said, okay. I didn't even ask what it was. And it was like, it'll be on this check you get this week. And when I got that check, I went from $8 to $10 in 2 weeks, family, coming fresh out of prison. So they seen enough in me to say, hey, man, that's the best of little money in them. And I was able to get we were scoring about 45 to 50 hours a week. So I was cool getting a little overtime because I was getting extra, you know what I mean? Didn't really know too much about taxes, but I was carrying a couple, dependents to bring some of my money home. But welding really saved my life. It saved me from going directly back into the streets. I know a lot of people who got out of prison after doing, 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, 11 years, and they went straight back into, grabbing a dope sack, so to speak, or picking up a pistol, or trying to, jump into the lane of trying to do some pimping, you know what I mean? Whatever they was into, or trying to do some stealing, or whatever they was into, because they didn't have nothing solid. And I witnessed this personally, from a personal level. I have a few associates that I even know who actually, one of them for sure, he came down 8 times while I was doing the 10. No lie. I'm like, I can't even make it up. I'm like, man, what is it in here that you like so much? I'm trying to get out there. You started coming back. I don't mind seeing you, hearing the stories, but man, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it was. It seemed like people come back with a great story or some photos of some women or some cars and things they had. And man, I just got caught up real quick. I'm just passing through. It was like it kind of reminded me of the prison, even though I ended up going to juvenile. And in juvenile, it was more like we was locked up, but it was more like we wasn't. We was acting like we was still on the streets, just maintaining and gang banging and playing, and it really wasn't like we was incarcerated, at times. And I think about the things I have experienced, just growing up in a rural area, man. Like I say, I grew up, I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was raised in McGee, Arkansas, and Arkansas City, and also Reed. So I'm familiar with these towns, you know what I mean? And I was also raised in Denver, in Montbello. So I grew up in Denver. I came back and forth, you know what I mean? I was always coming back and forth. So I was always an oddball, family. I was always an oddball. My mom only had 2 kids, just me and my sister. So, I was always I was the one that didn't really have too much, but I always made the best out of what I had. Like, I was one of the first ones in the hood with a little go-kart. And I remember getting this go-kart, fixing it up, man, and getting a scooter, fixing it up. We didn't even have brakes. We had to use our shoes. Man, we had some fun times, but, welding really saved me when I look back and I think back on all the times I had growing up, on how I would have jumped directly back into the streets. And it did come a time in my life after being free for 5 years. After doing that 10 years, I went back for a year. And it was basically, I'm going to be honest with you on technicality, it was on counterfeit money for $30 in family. I really didn't have nothing to do with this, you know what I mean? And if so, it was very humbling. My mom was still alive at the time, and I was like, man, I can't believe I'm getting caught up. And I remember paying this little fine. It was like $250, and I knew surely I'm gonna beat this, but they had it over my head that I was already a convicted felon. You know what I mean? So if I don't tell on where it came from, then I'm gonna have to go do some time. Needless to say, I had to go do a year because I'm a convicted felon and I couldn't give them the information. Even though, one of the guys, I was like, man, you know, this ain't my charge, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I took it, I embraced it, and I learned from that situation. You know what I mean? Because I had made I was making other decisions that could have led me to prison, and that situation really humbled me. You know what I mean? And my mom was still alive at the time, and I remember her talking to me about, you know, how God allows certain things in your life so that way you can refocus. And she was like, you know, I know you got a purpose. You just got to refocus. You know what I mean? You just went through some things. You know, your heart got hurt. You jumped out trying different relationships. Yes, yes, it is not the way to go, family. And so I try to express my story because you don't have to. See, one thing that I feel like the younger generation is missing, that they think that they have to experience everything. A wise person told me it is better to learn from someone else's mistakes than your own, because then you don't have to experience it or waste the time or do the damages that person had to go through if you would learn. See, we think that the younger generation think that this generation think that, oh no, I can create a new thing. All you're doing is adding a different name to it. Like, the more you live, the more you learn that history repeats itself. And if you got someone in your corner that's 10 years older than you, 20 years older than you, 30 years, 40 years older than you, surely they can give you some information that can save you a lot of headaches. And the information that I was passed really saved me a lot of headaches, family, you know, because I really was starting to learn from other people's mistakes. I really looked back and said, you know what, I need to do this. And by me embracing welding in there, it helped me do just that, because when the feds came and they was swooping up my homies and different things was happening once I got out, family, I had a job. I was working, I was welding, I was doing my thing. I was riding good and living good, and people were thinking. I remember a guy, I'll never forget this. I remember a guy from Newport, shout out to the homie from NPT from Newport, Arkansas. I remember a homie, man, from there said, he said, Joe, man, I don't know what you do, man. He said, man, I don't know that you work, hustle. Man, I don't know what you do. I said, man, I work, man. I'm a welder, man. He said, man, I need to learn how to weld. Because I'm always looking good. I drove things good. I kept my stuff up. But that's what welding can do. And even though at that time, family, I wasn't investing my money in the wisest things, I would say. I bought a house. And I had some vehicles. And I had the picket fence, so to speak. But I still was kind of blind with it. I still, you know, after doing 10 years, I still was trying to find myself. Let me see what you're saying, brother. Yes, yes, yes. One day we're going to get a chance to network, man. Most definitely, most definitely. And I appreciate you for checking in. So, you know, like I say, the experiences of being incarcerated and surviving that time at a young age, it really showed me about survival. Like, because in there, talk about being completely by yourself, family. I was by myself. You know what I mean? Like, mama couldn't help me, granddaddy couldn't save me, family couldn't save me, my homies couldn't save me. It was just me. You know what I mean? If I didn't be a man and stand and hold my ground, I would have lost myself. And so while I was in there, family, I got to share the story because it's just a realistic story. I wasn't in prison 90 days, family. Wasn't even in prison 90 days, and I caught an attempted murder charge. I ended up stabbing the guy. I think they said it was like around 11 to 13 times, and it was protecting my manhood, because in there you're gonna even stand up and be a man, or you're gonna become somebody's woman. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's punk. And I always told my mom on the streets I wasn't one. So what you think I'm gonna be one in here for? So I had to stand up for myself, and I was willing to go to the extreme, because I felt like if a person can let the words go out of their mouth that, hey man, this dude look good, man, I'm gonna try to rape him, or I'm gonna see if I can talk him out his behind, you know, that he told to someone else, and the word came back to me. So when I addressed the issue, you know, he tried to smirk and laugh it off, but I had already had it in my mind that I knew it was true. It was already signed by a few stumped down people that, you know, was very respected in prison that said, yeah, he said it, you know, so it's on you now. You know what I'm saying? So I took it upon myself to make sure that I made a good example, and I was willing to do whatever it takes. Cause in there, if I wouldn't have stood up for myself, then something could have happened, you know, to me. So after doing that and going to the hole and getting that time in the hole and coming back out to population, there was a different respect as far as, you know, even though I was still cool. I never tried to act like I was tough or bad. I was just cool. I was just a cool dude. And people gained a lot of more respect saying, oh man, little Slice G don't go, because when I was in prison, that's what everybody called me, Slice G. So they was like, man, little Slice G don't go. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was more like, okay, finding yourself. And even though I had to get in a lot of trouble, because family, I'm gonna keep it real. When you first go and you young like that, doing that era, you gonna get in trouble them first. So don't think you finna go there with a couple years. And there was a few people that skated through that gonna go there in a couple years and you ain't gonna get no trouble. Man, it's like the first couple years I stayed class 4, you know, which was the lowest class, you know, because if someone brought something to me, I had to address it. And then some things happen just because you young and just make foolish decisions in there, you know, trying to hide contraband and just doing foolish things. So I like to say, man, learn from someone, example, who went through the struggle. Like, I knew before I went there I was a man. But then once I got there, some more people was like, well, you're going to have to prove me you a man because you might be a woman. In their eyes, you know what I mean? So I had to literally go out on the limb and stand up for myself, to the point where I said that I was willing to kill or be killed in a situation before I let someone hurt me. I was like, well, if they do it, I'm gonna be dead. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it was one of them situations where I literally had to survive, and growing from that, it just let me know that there's nothing I couldn't do. Like, I just had the mentality that, you know what, I'm gonna go and get myself together. I'm gonna get my GED, and I actually got my GED in the same year I would have graduated with my class. So I got my GED the same year I would have graduated with my class. And then a few years later, I ended up going to get combination of welding. But I was taking like different trades, like life skills, anger management, thinking error, AA, NA. I was doing all the programs I could to reconform my mind, get more information, and also keeping something before me. I felt like as long as I had something before my eyes, like a goal, something to accomplish, I could endure the situation. You know, like, I wasn't like keeping my mind in prison. You know what I mean? Because some people ask me, man, how can you make it after doing a decade? I'm doing that 10 years because I didn't keep my mind in there. I know guys that kept their mind in there, and even out here, you can tell they institutionalized. Like, I can't tell you that I don't have some institutionalized ways, because I did 10 years, but I'm not institutionalized to the point where I got caught up in that system. I didn't sleep with no males. Did no males sleep with me? I didn't take anything from anyone, unless it was a situation where it needed to be took. Someone took something from me. You know what I mean? But I wasn't like causing issues. I was just only, I called myself solving problems. Something came to me, I just solved the problem. But I learned in there that I had to be a man in there. And I remember when I caught that charge, family, I got to share this. My mom came to visit me, and I had to go out there in shackles. So I haven't went to regular court yet, so I could still visit her, but I had to go out there in shackles. And I remember my mom coming to visit me that weekend, and she told me that she found the news out what happened, that day when I did it, from one of the officers that actually stayed in my hometown, was telling them about the incident. And my mom said she cried and she was happy. She said, I know that you got in trouble, and I know, I didn't want the guy to die, you know what I mean? So I prayed for him. But she was like, I felt good knowing that my son, I could sleep. I know my son is going to be okay in there. And she said she couldn't sleep those months up to that point. I was telling her, Mama, all right, I'm okay. But when that situation happened, she was like, Lil Joe, I can't lie to you. I slept like a baby, because she knew that her baby boy was going to be okay. So I remember her sharing that story with me, on top of her saying, okay, so what you going to do when you get out, and being introduced with this welding. So I want to share that story because I feel like if you could use examples from other people, if you could take some jewels out of it somehow and apply it to your life, it can change you. And welding is exactly what I use to keep me, like, right now, the things I have done, the things I'm doing to my mom's house, it was off of welding, family. The money I was able to obtain to actually do this, because believe me, I didn't get no free grants and nobody throw no money at me. I had to use my own money. I had to use my own savings and say, you know what, I'd rather invest it in this, have a place to lay my head if something happened. I know my kids got a place. I know my wife got a place. I know my grandbabies got somewhere they can stay. If anything ever falls, we got a place to stay. So, you know what I mean? Salute, St. Louis checking in. You know, I got family in the loop. So, you know, I always wanted to have something that they could say that was theirs. So I was like, you know, I already invest in this. And my mom went out of her way. She went out of her way to help me maintain while I did that 10 years. Like, she was there every step of the way, from sending me money, from visitations, from coming to see me. Like, she was there. And I'm given an opportunity to resurrect her by renovating the house and restoring it and actually living in it, you know, utilizing it. So, you know, it's truly a blessing, you know what I mean? So, you know, my goal isn't to be here all the time, because I like to travel and I still got some ties in Phoenix, and my goal is to get the store actually jumping out there in Phoenix, Arizona. So I will be back in Arizona, but my goal is to get this going where I can be able to have two places. Because, you know, if you're blessed to have two places you can stay, hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with it, man. You know, some people say, oh, man, you're doing too much. To me, I'd rather have two nice places to stay than two pieces of junk cars I'm taking care of. I don't care what they look like. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. But, you know, everybody live different. But I can most definitely say that welding opened all these doors. Like, from fabricating, from learning shop welding, like, and even going like the welding that I'm doing now in Doom, is I'm helping out on a project. And this is something that I learned from, and it's crazy how I'm doing something now that I did when I first got out, but I'm making way more money. You know what I'm saying? Way more money, but I'm doing something that's, you know, assembly, welding, fast fabrication, fast modification, you know what I mean? So it's cool how time flies and things change. And one reason I'm doing that situation and doing is because, you know, I'm sitting here spending money at the house. I'm getting things going. Things going wrong. I had some plumbing issues, roofing issues I had to fix, ceiling issues. Man, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It even got to the point where it felt overwhelming. You know what I mean? It felt like, can I do this? Can I pull this off? You know? And I thought about, you know, my mom never giving up on me. So I was like, I can't give up on this house. You know what I mean? And so I really started really pushing. And like I say, I got a few students already coming through, and them helping, them reaching out to me, allowing me the opportunity to teach them, also gives me the opportunity to invest in my mom's house, to invest in a future for my kids, and to get established. So I'm humbled that welding gave me this opportunity, and my mom shined the light. And this last student that I had, he said something that really caught my attention. He said that his mom had passed several years ago, and he said we was out there welding and we was taking a little break, and he was like, I know she'll be proud to see me doing what I'm doing right now. And, you know, I looked at him and I smiled. I said, man, you know what? You know, my mom introduced it to me. She introduced welding to me. And I know she will be proud to see me welding in the house that she left her, teaching someone else the trade. So if both of them is in heaven, which I believe they're both at peace, they could be staring down at both of us saying, hey, that's my son down there. And then my mama saying, hey, that's my son teaching them. You know what I mean? So some things, man, some things are humbling and a blessing to, are blessings in disguise. And some people think because you promote, you want to help your people. You know, I am a black man. I am a black Native American, actually. And I reach out. I would love to help my black community. And a lot of things that I say, I stretch black and black welder because that's what I am. But even just like Jesus, you know, when he came, he let you knew who he was. You knew he was a Hebrew. You knew he was a Jew. And he came to help his people. And once his people rejected him, he took the word to the Gentiles, everybody else. So, I feel like when you have a mission on your life to help yours, some people get it twisted thinking that you're racist or you're biased. Nah, you got to be conscious of your surroundings. If there's a Chinatown that we can go to and go eat at, I've never seen I've never been to a African American community that was thriving and it was stores and jumping and it was called Good Africa or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I never seen that, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it seems like we don't do things like that. And when I promote having a program that helps the ages from 12 to 24 of the black males, people tend to frown. Like, well, what about everybody else? Well, if somebody want to support them, yeah, I jump. But I really want to help my people because I know that if I can help prevent one of the people that came up like me, I can keep someone from going to prison. I can help someone break them chains. And I know it starts at that age, from 12 to 24. And by then, they say we either dead, incarcerated, or sprung out on a hard drug. So if we could give someone a vision, man, if I would have knew this way before, no telling what my life could be. And I was talking to, my student, and I was telling him, man, at your age, you're doing what you're doing, man, 10 years in that, by the time you turn 35, man, you're going to be on. Let me go back in and check in and see what everybody's saying. Yes, you got to make a sacrifice. Salute, man. I appreciate you checking in, Mike Jones. Like I say, the goal is, man, I just want to share my personal experiences and how it saved me and how I realized that in order for me to live to be remembered, in order for me to pick up and follow the legacy of my ancestors who said they would be immortal, I get it now. I would live through the people that I teach and the people that I help. Some I might know and some I might don't, because I might help people through videos in other places that I might never meet that took it to a different level. But the goal is, if you got some valuable jewels and information, there is no reason to put a candlelight under something. The purpose of it is to let it, illuminate. And I remember one of my OGs, and I got to call them my OGs because if you got someone that gives you some good game and they want to see you do better, and they older than you, and you know them when you grew up, and they ain't on the same thing, and they see something in you don't see in you, that help put it out. And my OG, shout out to Dennis Morgan, actually, I want to say his full name, man, because I want to pay him his flowers while he's still alive. Dennis Morgan called me one day, and he said, "Little homie, we was talking about a few things," and he was like, "Man, I think you should start blogging." I'm like, "Man, what you mean?" He said, "Start doing some YouTube videos, talking about just random stuff. You got some good things you can share." I was like, "Man, I ain't got time to do that, man. I'm trying to do this business. I got this going on." And he was like, "Man, find time. If you don't make time, you ain't gonna have time. Find time and start, just, I don't know, but he didn't fully just give me no blueprint and say, hey, this is how you do it. He just said, do it. And surely, as you do it, you'll figure it out." And family, I started blogging. And I actually made my first blog video in 2016 on this channel, HogOn Welding channel. I actually made the channel in the end of 2016, and I started HogOn Welding LLC in Feniks 2017. It was official, and I started making little small videos and random different stuff, and then I eventually, started giving other information. But it was him that encouraged me. And to this day, I think about if I would have just started today. Today is my first video, and today will be the first time you ever met me. And I'm just now starting this. And we're in this era that we are in right now. I think it'll be hard to get. It'll be harder to get more momentum and really to reach the people I'm trying to reach if I don't have no archives. If I don't have nothing they can go back, no one can go back and research and say, hey, okay, who is this dude? Let me go back. And you can go back for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and see me consistently on the same thing. And the only thing you're going to constantly see is, man, he getting a little bit better. He improving. Oh, he learned from that. Okay, he went through this. Okay, he survived that. That's all you're going to see, because I figured that if I just painted a picture of my success story and say, oh, I got it going on, and oh, you know, I just got this much money, oh, I'm living like this, oh, you should do this. If I just did that, then what is the pure message? What is the potency? What is the jewels in that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just like, you know, the old saying of having gold covered on top of dung. It's shiny, but as soon as it get hot, you gonna smell what's going on. You know what I mean? So I figured I'd just be transparent. And the best way to do it is to just share different personal experiences, different job site experiences, relationship experiences, life. Because when you master something, when you're a tradesman, you have a trade, but then you have a life. And certain things in your life improve your trade, and certain things can make you fall back off of it. So if you can survive something in your life and you can share it and it helps you improve to be a better person, I think if you share this information, no telling who you can help, no telling who you can save, you know. And this gentleman, what was so impressive about Bentley coming down here, he drove down here 2 hours to take my course. And it was so important to him that he did it on a day where most people would have said, man, I'm gonna go party on New Year's, I'm gonna turn up. Even my age, most people still turned up. But this young man, 25 years old, was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down here. I'm about to drive down here, get me a room, and take these classes, meet this guy, get all the information I can, improve my focus, and figure out where I want to go in my life. And it was impressive to me, not only that he did it, but that he was committed. And we have to do that, family, this year. We have to do that forever. Like, we have to, if we want something, we're going to have to do it. Like sitting back, trying to get a handout, waiting on this, waiting on that. All you're doing is wasting time and energy, you know, looking at a problem without looking at trying to find a solution. We all know we got a problem. But I'm not just going to stare at my problem every day. I'm going to find a solution. I'm not going to, every time you see me, I'm not going to tell you that the man got me down every time. Because the man don't got me down every time. He might got his foot on my neck all the time. But hey, I'm not mourning all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be smiling. I know his foot right there. I'm still going to have a party. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to have a good time. So, you know, I figured that in life, you have to embrace the good and the bad, but you can't, you know, real hoes don't stay down long. You know what I mean? We're not peas. We don't water in the mud. You know what I mean? You know, we might hit the ground and have to do something and jump back up and go back to war. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. We're not dogs. So there's a big difference. You know what I mean? You know, you can't break an independent spirit. You can't break someone that want to survive. But even the scriptures say, woe to the soul woe to the person who has a low spirit. If his spirit is low, if he don't feel or she don't feel they can do something, then you can give them all the jewels and game and conversation and pep talks and money and whatever else you can give them. If they don't feel it's worth anything, or they don't feel they themselves is worth anything, then there you go. So my goal is just to share my personal experiences, how I'm using welding, how welding saved my life, and how to this point right now, welding is actually helping me change other people's lives. I have changed several people's lives up to this point. And like I say, some I know on a personal level and some I don't. And I'm humbled that when I asked God to use me, I didn't fully understand how it was going to go. And you know, you might have an idea of saying, yeah, it's going to be like this. Or yeah, you're not going to go through something. But anyone that did any great thing always has great sorrows to go with it. Always had dark hours, always had trying times. Even though you might know him as doing some great things, Dr. King himself had some rough moments. Malcolm X had some rough moments. Marcus Garvey had some rough moments. Frederick Douglass had some rough moments. Harriet Tubman had some moments where they didn't even know how it was going to go. So you don't know how things are going to go. You just got to survive, family. And I never put myself on a pedestal. I never called myself anything, but I embrace it when someone else does. And when someone else calls you a mentor, when someone else calls you a leader, when someone else give you a title that inspires them, then I feel like you should embrace it. It's just like a guy said, if enough people saying it, then it got to be true, one way or the other. So sometimes people can give you some information, just like my OG Dennis gave me some information. Say, hey, I think you should start blogging and sharing your life experiences, or I would have never shared a video. I would have never blogged and posted about me welding and teaching welding. I would have been doing it, locally and just here and there, but I wouldn't have went on a public scale and got in front of the media and released live videos and doing my Instagram and Facebook. I wouldn't have been doing that. And then even getting started, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing it. And I'm still learning, family. You know what I mean? But I feel that the big goal is just to share. You know what I mean? So I wanted to come and just to share and blog more. And like I say, open up the podcast, start a podcast where I can literally have some people down to share their experiences on what they do in their trade or what they're building, or me going out to their job sites and showing and encouraging others on what they can do on an independent level, because there's a lot of people out here doing some independent things that no one knows anything about. And there's a lot of things that we can do that we think that doesn't make money that we enjoy. Like there's a such thing as making money on what you enjoy doing. I enjoy welding and fabricating. I enjoy teaching it. I enjoy seeing someone, this is the best way to put it. When you teach someone and you teach someone the correct way, it's like planting a seed in some soil and literally watching it grow, watching the seed root and grow up and turn into a flower right before your eyes. Like, it's amazing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's like to see someone do that, you're like, wow. You know what I mean? And then you realize that it was you in a humble way, like that God gave you the power to be able to touch someone that can change their lives right in front of you. So when I teach someone and they don't know, or they drop a bead, it's all over the place, and they get a little nervous, it's going to be okay. And I show them a couple things, and I hold their hand, and I get them going, and they finally get it. And to see them take off and start getting good beads, and like this brother, we did flat in 4 positions in one setting. So we did within a 10-hour class setting, we did 4 positions in dropping beads. And he was tying them in, making them look right. So once he got it, he took off with it. And it was just amazing to know that you had the ability to help someone change. So not only to save your life, now you just helped him in a way, no telling who he's going to help, And I always think about the story that Christ shared in the Bible, that he healed 10 men from leprosy, but only 1 came back. And when that 1 came back, he said, wasn't it 10 that I healed? And he said he wanted to come back and, hey man, what can I do? I want to serve you. I want to do it. He said, you know what? Just go tell someone else about what I did for you. And I think that's where I'm at in my life. Like I enjoy knowing that you might help 10 and 1 might come back. Those cool. I'm cool with those odds, because if I help 1,000, that means 100 might come back. I'm okay with that. And that 100 might help a couple 100,000. So sometimes we get caught up in social media with this instant gratification of Instagram, and you want to drop a picture or drop a video and get 1,000 likes or 1,000,000 likes, you know what I mean? And initially, what are you getting out of that besides attention? A lot of people say they want money or they're trying to build a career, but is it a career in just that? You have to find the way in everything. And like I say, I don't feel like we should frown on physical trades. And I think this generation they feel like they want everything remotely, and not knowing that all these infrastructures that's being built, buildings, projects, homes, buildings, art centers, everything are made from tradesmen, and a lot of welding, fabrication. So I think that being a tradesman is something that's amazing, because what do people go visit right now? People go to Africa right now and visit pyramids that was built by tradesmen, that has lasted the test of time over time. Some buildings, some things that we have done as welders and fabricators, pipe welders, structural welders, going to be up a long time after we're gone. And there's going to be someone looking at that being like, man, I wonder what them dudes did that way after we're gone. And it's amazing to me how we can do that. You know what I mean? That's how I say welders have the ability to live forever, man. It's just amazing how welding and tradesmen can really change lives. And this is all tradesmen, But one thing that I really do love about welding is it touches all fields. You can be in the plumbing field, the electrical field, the carpentry field. You can be in the plumbing, the plumbing field. You can be in the flooring field. You make look deals that they use in the flooring, like a little piece of deal that help push the metal in, help push the flooring pieces in. It's actually got a little metal welded piece in it. You know what I mean? On some of them. So it's so much welding and metal and certain things that it blows your mind. Everybody uses it and don't even think about it. And then when it comes to building products, most of the things that we use and drive and eat and have in our household come from welding. You know what I'm saying? So, it literally saved my life, family. So I just like to share my story on a personal level, because I feel like someone may can use it. You don't have to go down the same path someone else did just to get the same information. Like I say, it's better to learn from someone else's mistakes than your own. So you don't necessarily have to go down it. You can say, hey, you can use me as a dummy, so to speak. Remember that commercial, you can learn a lot from a dummy? You can use someone to say, hey, you know what? I'm not driving that fast. It's going to wreck me too. You might think you're a good driver. Yeah. But once you get in this certain situation, life, gravity, this, wind, this travel, certain thing, it's going to happen, And I remember I got two friends of mine, rest in love right now. My guy EG and Mike. Both of them died together in a car accident. And I remember my mom telling them and telling me that she told them, they came in this car together and they go to drive, go fast. She told them, she said, hey, y'all take care of yourself now. You'll be driving fast in this car tonight and kill yourself. Man, my mama called me, I got a call where I was actually able to call mom at that time. I was in prison. And she told me my two best friends died, and they had came by the house and told me to tell me what's up. And she knew, she said, look, Joe, without a shadow of doubt, if you was out, you would have been in that car with them. I know you would have been in the back seat. And things happen sometimes for a reason, family. Some things happen that we don't even understand why it happens. I'm in prison, but I'm avoiding death so I can be able to do something better, not even knowing it. It saved me from a lot of things. So even though I embraced that time and I had to do that 10 years, it was preparing me for what I'm doing right now. Even though I couldn't see it, even though at times I still don't see certain things that I'm still growing into. But I'm humbled to know that the power to help change somebody's life, to help someone grow and live better, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thumbs down, family. Let me see if anybody says so. Yeah, most definitely, man. Like I say, so I just wanted to check in. Like I say, go live today. I actually had some free time. I was been doing some renovations at the house. I had to get some things hauled off and threw away, and then I got up too early and went somewhere and wasting time. So I'm like, well, you know what? I need to try to get a couple things accomplished, and then plus I was thinking about the experience I had, for New Year's, and so I do want to say salute and happy New Year's to everyone. Hope everyone have a successful one. Hope you be blessed and continues to prosper. Um, Whatever you didn't accomplish last year, I hope it roll over this year and you accomplish it and some more. But just realize it's going to take some work ethics, family. You're going to have to do something, and you're going to have to stand on it. And I want to say this: stand on your word, family. Learn how to stand on your word. I think it's very, very important that we learn how to stand on our word, because a lot of times we tend to change when certain things pop up and happen to us. We'll find a quick excuse on how to or why we should change or convert or whatever. Oh man, I can't do this because of this. Learn to be solid about your word, even if it come out your mouth, stand on it. And if you don't like the way it happens, the results, then watch what you say next time. You know what I'm saying? But stand on your word, family. You know what I mean? I gained a lot of respect, to me personally, coming from me. I gained a lot of respect from a person that'll just keep honor their word. And if they can't honor their word, they're gonna be at least a man enough to address why they can't honor their word. At least say, okay, this is what's going on. You know what I mean? So welding saved my life in a lot of ways. I'm 41 years old now, family. In the Lord's will, in a couple more months, I'll be turning 42 in March. And it's a blessing to be here, because I was told I wouldn't make it to be 18. And the things I have did up to this point at 41, it blows my mind, because I didn't know I was going to be able to do the things that I'm doing. So I'm humbled. So to make it from incarceration and to go through divorces and being betrayed by literally by one of my best friends, and being betrayed in the relationship. You know what? One of the hardest things that I notice, and sometimes, we try to point fingers like, oh, it's this person, it's that person. But I think certain things are spirits, like a treacherous spirit and a faithful spirit, a loving spirit. Certain people got certain spirits, and no matter what color they are. And certain people do treacherous things that you just have to watch out for that type of spirit of a person. And some of them, most of the ones I have seen that do more treacherous things to you, you'll look at them initially as being a great person. Oh, they just do great things. They consider it. Oh, they helped you. They just do so many things. And they'll do some of the treacherous, evilest things to you, to the person they say they love. It'll blow your mind. And I have experienced that. And, you know, it's hurtful when it comes from someone that you love, but it lets you know how life is. Not to be naive. You know how certain people say a snake is going to be a snake. Don't think because you saved it and put it up towards your bosom and it was about to freeze to death, as soon as it get warm and its blood gets to pumping, it's going to strike and bite you, because that's its nature. And you have to know the difference. The snake don't have to know the difference. It's going to do what it do. We have to know the difference. Like I told a friend of mine the other day, if you get hit by a sleepwalker, whose fault is it? It's your fault. You can see them coming a mile away. The whole time they walking, you watching them. You watching them. So if you let them do something to you, you are in the wrong. My mom used to say, if you wake a sleepwalker, they'll hurt you in themselves. You guide them to a safe place. You can just guide them, let them go that direction, and you keep going your way. But there's no reason why a sleepwalker, someone that don't know better, should really, really affect someone that does. And it took me a while, because people who are not conscious of what they do, they're like sleepwalkers. And we tend to get angry sometimes. You know, you'd be like, man, I don't understand why she or he or do this or that. They sleepwalkers, family. You're conscious. They're not conscious of what they're doing. And I learned that. And I also learned, family, that love, and I don't know who needs to hear this before I let y'all go. Love would change a person. It might not change a person overnight. But over time, if the love is just pure love and it's not, they don't have no judgment in it, it's not mixed with no evilness, it's just pure love, it's going to change a person over time. And it's going to become the love that it has been receiving. It's just what it is. And I learned that if you just allow, just because someone hurt you in another relationship, I just want to say that, don't carry that over to something new. Because now you're not going to be able to enjoy this new relationship because you got something old that you're not fully dealing with. So deal with those issues. Use other people as examples and be humble this year. You know, I think, like I say, this is a year that I feel we should go that extra mile. Do some networking with your people. You know, you got someone that want to network, man, network with your people, man. We trust so many systems that let us down, and we won't trust someone that we know is a go-getter. If you got a good hustler in your circle, someone that you know gonna make something happen, man, go talk to them. Hey, man, how can we get together and turn this $1 man to $2? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because he probably got a plan. You know what I mean? Get with your people, man. Don't not network with someone because you feel that they shouldn't be in the position that they're at, and you know them. Well, why am I not there? You know, people are different, man. I just want to say on a personal note, if you got someone in your local community, someone you know, network with them. I'm not just saying network with me, but I do appreciate those who reach out and get the classes and those who get the consultations. I do appreciate it. I want to shout those out. My classes, I'm kind of trying to fine tune them for the area, help people that's in need. So I've been coming up with different prices and different settings to actually address the area that I'm in. So I'm going to have a 8-hour MIG welding course that is going to be $250 for those who want to actually get introduced to it to see if that's what they want to do or want to get some time to actually freshen up on their skills and get some more information so they can get some employment. If you already got experience, that's a good course for you. Or if you think you can learn fast on a fast track, that's a good fast track course for you for $250 for 8 hours. Then I actually had the $600 course, and it was actually for 30 hours. I went for 20. It goes from 20 to 30 actually. Some people want the consultation in it, and they say, hey, I want to learn 3 positions and some lap joint, T joints, and then I want the business consultation, and I charge $150 for the business consultation. So instead of charging that, I just do 20 hours and the business consultation. You know what I mean? So that way it can be win-win. But those who don't want the business and just want the welding for $600, and they bring their own equipment, PPE and things, then they get the 30 hours. So I want to make sure that's clear. And then, but for 1,000 hours, for $1,000, what I do is a 40-hour course, and it involves MIG welding and fabrication. And we'll be doing some print. I will have some information in it. We're just going to be a nice fast track, but you're going to be able to get a lot out of it. Plus, the people who actually do the 1,000, they will be able to come back. So say if you're in the area and you spent that and you needed to come back and brushing up on your skills and say, hey man, can I come through there and get an hour one day and kind of brush up on something? All those who be a part of that course, they're most definitely able and welcome to do that. And I will have the shop ready and open for those who need that experience. But that is actually to help people get their jobs, get the fabrication skills, to get certain employment, and to get their cert. Now, you're going to have to get your certs. I don't certify you. I get you ready to get certified. So I'm going to have you where you'll be confident and ready to go up there and take the test, because you're going to have to take a physical weld test. And there's 2 facilities in Arkansas where you can take your weld test, or there's facilities in your area for those who actually come down, drive down, or fly in to come and see me. There's a lot of AWS facilities that you can get certified to get your stick welding certs. In my personal opinion, if you're gonna have only one cert in your pocket, I would say it to be your stick welding certs. If you're gonna travel, MIG welding certs actually isn't a big thing because most shops gonna recertify you or certify you in their shops if you're working for them. So it really don't matter to get a MIG welding certification. Sometimes it is cool to get, like if you get a 1-inch flux core, then that's cool because you can use that also in the field. So if you get a 1-inch flux core and a 1-inch stick, then both of those can be, a big asset. But if you're only going to get one cert, I would say get your stick cert either in vertical overhead or in 6G, in my personal opinion. But just wanted to throw some of that out there. Like I say, I am in my hometown. I'm in McGee, Arkansas. The zip code is 71654, and I will be offering independent welding classes. I work around the individual schedule. So if you work at night, you work in the evening, and you want to say, and another good thing I want to say, you don't have to do the courses in one setting. So don't think you have to come and do 30 hours in one. We can do 8 hours a day. You can set up a 10-hour day, and a break in between, so it's however you want. All I say is that you let me know ahead of time so that we can schedule it and get everything. And you do have to pay it ahead of time. So say if you say, you want to take this course in 2 weeks, then go on and pay in advance. I lock the time in, and that way in 2 weeks we'll have everything ready. But I don't want to wait. I have done it at the last moment, get all my things ready. The person didn't show up, never heard from, didn't answer. I'm like, man, I literally waste my time. Could have been doing something else. So if you want to make the investment and you want to come down and learn independently from me, you do have to pay me up front for the time and the date. And if the date changes, that's fine. You can say, hey man, something came up, let's do this date instead of this date. But if you say a certain date and you don't contact me and let me know in advance, then you lose your funds because I was ready for you. You know what I mean? So I like to get that out the way and clear for 2022. I think the best thing to have with anyone is a clear understanding, family. So I want to have a clear understanding on that. But I do have MIG welding courses and stick welding courses, and both of them are at $250 for 8 hours, $600 for the 30 hours, and $1,000 for the 40 hours. But it's included with fabrication because I will be teaching you some fabrication and giving you some blueprints. I do have some blueprint books, some information that can help you really become a fast track fabricator. Now, when you think about the time, it's all about consistency and staying at it. Practice make perfect on anything that you do. So once you leave here, most people go get a job or they already have one and they say, hey, I could pass the test now, and they started practicing and you become better and better. So once you pick this up, you have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it, and that way you can improve it or do it on your own. But I will say this, it does work. I know many people who have changed, many people who are making money, who are living better lives, who actually, look out for me from time to time. It's out the blue, man. Hey, man, I send you this, man. I just want to bless you, man. Appreciate you looking out for me. So, I'm humbled and I'm thankful for everybody I have assisted and helped. So if that's you and you need some assistance from me, Black Feniks at HogOn Welding. The website is www.hogonwelding.com. That's hogonwelding.com. The business line is 870-501-1974. That's 870-501-1974. And the email is hogonwelding@gmail.com. And also you can follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on Facebook, and everything is HogOn Welding. I also want to say, please share the channel this year. Share the channel. Let's get these likes up. My goal is to try to reach 10,000 followers before the end of the year. Like, I'm trying to hit 10,000 by the summer, family. So let's hit 10,000 subscribers. Help me out. Let's get this thing scrapping. Let's get this thing jumping. I want to be able to expand, and that's actually small. I know that there's more than 10,000 welders, 10,000 people who are interested, 10,000 individuals who actually want to learn. So let's get these subscribers up. I appreciate those who like it, share it, tell people about it, man. I appreciate it. And I also do the same, like I say, for those who hit me up and they say, hey man, could you share my channel? Could you do this? Hey, we're going to do all that. I'm willing to shout you out, share your channel. If I'm on Instagram and I see you, you follow me. I like to share channels if it's not private. If you have a private channel, it's hard to share. But for those who hit me up, man, I like to show the support. I like to get the love back. So, hey man, let's network. I think that this year, in order for us to really get somewhere, it got to be each one teach some. We're gonna have to network, together, share one another's movement, uplift one another, man. It's okay, man. I think there's nothing wrong with me lifting you up, saying you a good tradesman, and it's going to shine less light on me from being a good tradesman. Some people feel like that, or some people feel like, well, if I put that picture on my page, it's going to damage what I'm doing. I don't mind supporting other people. I don't have no problem with that because other people have supported me. I didn't get here by myself, so I don't mind supporting getting someone else here. So, and I do it out of love. So I don't do it out of anything in return. I always say if someone's going to support, they're going to do it from the heart. So I do things from the heart. I appreciate those who support, those who send donations. I appreciate it. Like I say, I got everything in now for my student. I've been waiting for him. His parents have been moving. So hopefully we'll have our 15-year-old student in. If not, if something don't happen, I got someone else that's going to take his place. So we're going to have another student, but we're going to go on and kick that off. And that'll be our first student for the year. And let's just try to get, man, listen, I think we can get one student a month. If we can teach someone from 12 to 24, one a month, that's 12, man. You know how many people how many lives can change just by 12 people? Just one person a month, from all of us pitching in, donate. We got to buy wire. I got the light bill. I got to teach. I got to do my time. But I'm willing to do what it takes if you're willing to help me. Because there's so many people that's willing to come to the area and drop their son off, that's here in the area, who works for the prison, who works for the school, who works for these different companies, and they want to learn something better, or they got boyfriends or husbands who got hurt on the job or having problems because they're a convicted felon and trying to figure out what they can do. I can help you gain your independence in welding and fabrication. If you don't like getting burnt, then we can do some TIG welding or some light MIG welding. We got to do stick welding. There's so many things you can do when it comes to fabrication. So don't hinder your growth by being afraid, by thinking that you can't do something or this might be too overwhelming. Just, dive into it. Like I say, welding saved me. I'm 41 years old. I'm blessed to still be here and still help people change their lives, man. And I appreciate it. Like I say, welding truly saved me. So from doing 10 years incarceration from the age of 16 to 26, from, like I say, going through the things I have faced in life, welding has always been a crutch that kept me from grabbing a gun or getting some drugs or hitting a corner. I don't have to do that, man. If humbling anything, all I got to do is go hit a job for a minute and get me some money up and then start my business back, if anything, So I'm humble and I'm thankful that welding saved my life. I really figure that this year that a lot of people will be reaching out to skilled trades, and I really want to be one of the ones that help lead the way. My goal is to do the Welding Expo. I was talking about the Black Welding Expo, where I get different tradesmen in and we talk about it. We show what we do. We show our products. We show what we make. And we just come together and encourage and have something fun and doing it just for a weekend, a Saturday and Sunday, bringing people out, having fun with their families. I really think it'd be cool. Or on a Friday and a Saturday. You know what I mean? So I really want to kick something off that can really benefit. So for those who want to be a part of it, stay in tune. Like I say, hit me up, email me, HogOn2017@gmail.com. We're going to kick the expo out off at McGee, Arkansas. It's a few different places we can actually do it. So I have found a few different places that we can actually kick it off at, because it can be open in the open, or it can be in the enclosed just for the weather. I actually want to be able to have both, but we can have an outside and an inside location when we're doing it for this weekend event. So once we kick this off, like I say, my goal is to have everybody down that want to be a part of it. And we're going to, try to encourage people to learn trades, to think outside of the box, to change their lives, to start businesses, to think different. I think in 2022, we have to think different. There's an old saying that says there's a catch-22, and it means You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And in life, I have felt like that several times. But one thing for sure, learning welding is not a catch-22. Learning the skill is not a catch-22. It is most definitely can be beneficial for you, profitable for you and your family. It can be, a stress reliever. It can be gratifying. It can be a lot of things. So I just wanted to share my experience. Like I say, here right now, I am inside of my mama's house that she left to me that I inherited. I've been working on my shop, getting my shop going. And what I did was I turned a carport. I enclosed it into a car garage, and I made a welding shop and fabrication shop starting off in my home. A lot of times we frown on small beginnings, but when I was in the desert and I first started building my products and I came up with my welding skids and I came up with the staircases, I was building them outside, just on the outside block. I didn't have nothing like this. So to me, I had to upgrade it, and my goal is to get a building and actually start building and fabricating. But you got to start from somewhere. But I'm gonna use what I got, and I'm gonna help. Also, want to say this year, I'm hopefully soon I'm gonna have an Airbnb. So for those who also want to come down and travel, my goal is to have a 20-foot shipping container constructed as an Airbnb to show you what I do on a small level, but to also present it to the students that come down, those who travel. They could actually live in the container, check it out. And, I think it'll be pretty cool. So for those who want to be a part of that, stay in tune. I got a goal on building a few different ones, few different styles. There's a lot going on this year, man. I'm open to network with anyone. I love to travel, family. I want to say that again. I love to travel, so I don't have no problem with pulling up on you. You know what I mean? And helping you build a project or networking with you and your community to help teach some students or to teach a class or to do a fundraiser. Like I'm open. Like I really want to network this year and from on out. So just stay in tune. Like hopefully you be getting some great things from me. But before I go, I want to give you highlights. I want to show you I want to show you my welding studio, so to speak. So I'm gonna grab the camera and I'm gonna show you my welding studio. We're gonna step outside real quick in the garage and kind of just show you what I've been working on, because I've been messing with this for a second, trying to get everything done. And a few things I'm waiting on to get, I had to upgrade on, but when you come in, I got a few different videos that gives you a lot of information on welding, how to set up the equipment, about shock, about electrical problems, about PPE, about flames, fumes, all that good stuff. And then I have just my little gadgets, different little stuff that we need when we got the plates and different things. And then we got different type of booths, and when we sitting down and when we're doing overhead or pipe welding or whatever. And then we have more information. So my goal is to have more and more information, to be able to share more videos. Like I say, we're gonna be doing when we doing a fabrication, we got a small torch and a big torch. So we'll be able to do some real fabrication. And we got a nice area. We got a little more than 20 foot right here. I think we got 21 foot. The sticks are 20 foot, so we can lay down 20-foot sticks in here to build and fabricate. So hey, that's why I built this. I built this to kill several birds with one stone, and that's my goal. I know my mama's proud. I appreciate her for dropping the seed and actually teaching me to believe in myself and to think outside the box. And mom was like, man, what do you think about welding? And these dudes make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Now today, look at me. I'm welding and I'm teaching people how to weld. So there's nothing you can't do, family. Don't belittle yourself. Don't say what you can't do. Just do it. Let me check in with my family before I leave. What's going on? Happy New Year's. Most definitely checking in. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hey, down in Miami area. Hey, just let me know, man. All you gotta do is get me down in Miami, man. I come down there. I ain't been down there yet, so it's on my bucket list, man. I'm gonna come down there, man. Mess with y'all. So I appreciate everybody checking in. Like I say, I just wanted to go live. We'll be doing more things like this, man. Holding more conversations, and you'll be seeing more input. So network with me. If you're cool with me, fool with me. Hog on, family.